I am recording this on Monday, so we don't know who won the semifinal game yet between Venezuela and Italy. I will say I want the U.S. to have a rematch with Italy. I think it would be storybook. Italy, the one team that surprisingly knocked off the U.S., the U.S. not knowing. Obviously, they had to win that game to guarantee themselves a shot in the quarterfinals. Um, I think it would be a great storybook telling. Tell this World Baseball Classic has taken shape. I think this has been easily the best World Baseball Classic ever. It's got multiple stars. I mean, you look at that game Sunday night between the U.S. and Dominican. Again, I'm recording this Monday morning, so we don't have the numbers out yet. I'm assuming it will be a massive number. Now, it was on FS1. It wasn't on Fox, which is a little bit surprising to me. I'll be interested to see, if the World Baseball Classic has a very similar number or maybe even up from the MLB All-Star Game or even get close to a World Series number. I feel like that's how big this has been. I mean, what, last night you had 18 players, in that U.S. Dominican game who had an MVP vote last year, and the intensity of it, right, was like October baseball in March, and knowing that we have 162 more games to go, I mean, it just got you hyped, I think, for the baseball season. How about, Julio Rodriguez robbing Aaron Judge of a home run? It was a 2-1 game at that point. That will be a WBC moment that will live on in history. You have um, obviously Skeens getting the start, and then you pass the baton all the way to Mason Miller. And the ninth inning drama all the way down to the 3-2 pitch, which, yes, was a little bit low. It should have been a walk for the Dominican, but the drama there, the intensity. Multiple teams. Obviously, Dominican had, third and second, nobody out. Bednar got the multiple Ks he needed to keep the Dominican from tying the game. I thought Austin Wells should have scored on that base hit, but obviously he had to make sure it got it into center field right over the glove of Bobby Witt Jr. You had the U.S. when it was 1-0 Dominican off the um, Candelario home run. They had third and second, one out. Aaron Judge strikes out. They don't move the runner. Um, and so it did feel like a sense of, Venezuela knocked off Japan. Japan was the third favorite coming in. They obviously had Yoshi Yamamoto. They have Shohei Ohtani. But you just felt like, the Dominican, who the last time in 2023 was eliminated in pool play, they had revenge on their mind. They wanted to prove that they were the best baseball country. And you had the U.S., who last time made it against Japan and lost in the finals. I think the U.S. feels like we have the most talent in baseball. So it truly did feel like U.S. Canada hockey, except it was U.S. Dominican. It did feel like sort of, the championship game of the WBC was Sunday as opposed to Tuesday. Again, we'll see who wins between Italy and Venezuela. I would take the U.S. in both those games. I think it's going to be an outstanding final to the World Baseball Classic. It's been a great marketing tool for baseball, much like the Olympics, this year for hockey. I think it's good that the NHL allowed the U.S. to compete. And as I've said before, I think this is just a gateway to what we're going to get in the 2028 Olympics, despite the fact that, again, we may have a work stoppage in 2027. Everybody says we'll slow the momentum of baseball. Baseball may completely change at that point, right? We may have a salary cap. And for those of us, there's 162 games, right? So, I'm in the American League. I'm on East Coast time. So I don't watch a ton of National League games unless they're on primetime television. I don't see a lot of Paul Skeens. I don't see a lot of Kyle Schwarber. I don't see a lot of Bryce Harper, for example. So it's really cool to see those players in action. And, now that the MLB's done their scheduling the way they have, and you get to see each National League team at least one series a year. Um, it is kind of cool in that retro perspective. But again, I don't watch a lot of national baseball until the postseason, anyways. So another great marketing tool for baseball to use. The World Baseball Classic has been, without a doubt, in my opinion, an outstanding success. And again, I said it the other day. I think ESPN sort of buried it with their March Madness coverage and the NFL free agency and the NBA and everything that they have on their networks. Fox has put it front and center, and it's being marketed on shows like The Herd and First Things First. And they're bringing on guys and their interviews. And I think the fact they're putting most of the games, especially most of the U.S. games, on a major network like Fox has only helped it. And I'm very, again, it's getting me pumped up for the 2028 Olympics and for the 2029 WBC. And go Team USA. Like that clip from the Brands World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brands World podcast right here on YouTube.